promise that you'll never be lonely. Peter Pan, that's what they call me. I promise that you'll never be lonely.
Hey everybody, Backyard Buffalo here. Are you ready to rip this up? Okay, let's do it. Now, we're going to continue right where we left off, right in the midst of our support characters. So next up is Violet. Let's jump into this ability. It's called Secure Squad. Violet jumps out of danger and shields her entire team, protecting them for 12,000 damage for the next 7 seconds. Now that is very good for a shield team, which I will show you shortly. Invisibility. Before Violet is about to take damage, she becomes invisible for 10 seconds. While invisible, Violet is untargetable and is completely invisible, can only go invisible every 25 seconds. When damaged by enemies, this will trigger. Now, with that, go into her next ability, Shield Roll. As you've seen earlier, she puts herself into a giant ball and rolls down the team, knocking back everybody and doing 4,000 damage. Now, the support characters, as you can tell, they're not built for damage. They're there to support. They're called support character, so they can help the team win the battle. They're not very big on damage, but they do have lots of utility. They're very high in utility. Now, Force Field. Violet's shields the weakest ally, protecting them from 17, almost 18,000 damage for the next 7 seconds. Now that's pretty good for lots of shields. Now, another one of my favorite support characters is Woody. Giddy Up. Woody integrates his allies, giving them 325 basic damage, 100% attack speed for 5 seconds. You pair that with a Zerg, makes it so he completely mows down everything every time that Giddy Up pops while he's rapid firing. It's a very deadly combination. Favorite deputy. Woody deputizes the enemy with the highest skill power, charming them to fight for 5 seconds. So basically, Woody charms an enemy and makes him attack the other team. Basically, attack their team member. So basically, he'll take your marksman in the back line and make it so they are charmed, which essentially either makes them completely stop attacking or turn and attack their own team. Lasso. You got to be careful with this ability. Woody lassos the furthest enemy, pulling them. The lasso has a chance to miss if you're under level 92. Now, the lasso goes and pulls the backline enemy up to the front, so your melee damage characters and your other characters can burst them down quicker, because he essentially pulls them to where he is. He's usually about in the middle. So it's very good if you have a melee character and a range character with this guy, because it gives them lots of attack speed. He pulls the strongest character up and makes it so your team can make quick work of the character. So we are going to go into another battle where I'm going to throw some. I tried Mickey last time. So we're going to go with Woody this time. Now, Woody goes especially good with Mr. Incredible, Goofy. He also goes good with Zerg. Like I said, the rapid fire is like beyond compare. So we are going to find a control character, which I'm going to go with Fennec, because that popsicle shoots real fast with Woody. Let's check it out and see how this works. See Goofy rolling up there. Now, as you can see, Mr. Incredible just knocked that guy out real quick with Finnick's lasso. Oh, there's the lasso. Pulled that back line right up to the Goofy so he could finish knocking him out. Now, here comes Zurg mowing down the lane again. Oh, there's the ulti from Mr. Incredible. Smashing back all the enemies, keeping them away, which is what his job is. This is a good utility team, fast attacking. This team essentially takes enemies down with lots of attack speed. Now, as you just seen, all those rapid fires really did a good job. Now that was very good that's a good team for rapid firing and making it so enemies go down really fast. Other characters you could pair Woody with would be, I would say, Queen of Hearts with her ability go below 50% health, gain 20% off with their heads. Yeah, this is why I like the Queen of Hearts. The Queen of Hearts instantly KOs an enemy with her basic attack if you're below 7 or 8,000 HP. Temper. Once per wave, if the Queen falls below 50% health, she gains 8,000 armor and 100% attack speed. So, pair that 100% attack speed with Woody's 100% attack speed, and you got one serious slapping machine that's also a tank. Alright. Now, next up is our control characters. I'll give you one more support character just for fun. Judy Hopps, she's probably one of the strongest tank support characters. She is good for a secondary tank because of her jump kick, knocking enemies back and giving them slows by 80% for 3 seconds. She also has a deputize ability, but only grants 15%, but she definitely makes up for it with Play Dead. The first time Judy reaches 0% HP, she dies for a short time, then comes back to life with 8,000 health, which is about roughly half her health. So she'll come back with half health. Judy is invisible for 1 second after reviving, which also grants the deputize ability. Testify. When an ally knocks out an enemy, Judy heals them for 2,000 health and inspires them for 3 seconds, which is her deputize, which is the attack speed. Now, Bunny Hop boots them back, slows. It's a very well-rounded character, and her Playdead ability, you can also make a team that essentially never dies. I can give you that example as well. We're going to get into team building in the next video. But first, I'm just going to show you this real quick. Now, characters that come back to life twice. We got Olaf. We got Judy. We have Hades. And I think those are the characters that come back. Those are all the characters. Yes, those are definitely all the characters that come back. Now, we got pretty much 3 tanks, so we're going to pair it with a Korra and Calhoun. Let's go with Finnick, because Finnick is the boss. That Popsicle Man, we're going to get into control characters right away here. And I will explain to you, and you can definitely count on Finnick being in the top, because he is probably one of the strongest controls, besides Maleficent, which I will get into. I am working on leveling her up after I do Elsa. So basically, it's mostly your opinion. You can play around. You can literally pair any characters you want together. But it's good to read the skills and abilities to make sure that, like, what characters you're putting together makes sense. These characters, all three of these characters, or 3 out of the 5, come back to life. So basically, it's like having an additional 6 characters. Just think about that. So they die, they come back. Olaf, Judy, and Hades, they die, they come back, and keep wrecking shop. So basically, your enemy team is stuck having to kill them twice. It's like having 6 people, basically, instead of 3. Check it out. Alright, we're going to roll back into the heroes. Now, a very good other support character is Kevin Flynn. He has a power cleanse that does damage to all enemies. It just blasts the whole line. Weakness link, he picks the weakest person and heals them to full health. He has a shield that he can also give. So he's just a very evenly well-rounded character. He does pretty decent damage. He has shields and heals, which you don't see very often. Actually, not at all. And his shields are quite strong, his heals are quite strong, but not as strong as Mickey's heals or Violet's shields. That's why he's more of a utility. Alright, now on to the control characters. We got Finnick. Need I say more? Remote controller. That car, you've seen that car mow down people so many times, knocking the whole team back and dealing 11,000 damage to everybody getting knocked back. Pummel Pop flings the Jumbo Pop, dealing goo, slowing everybody, and dealing 8,000 damage. Jumbo Slam, Finnick smashes his Jumbo Pop, sending out a shockwave that does 21,000 damage to enemies in front of him. So basically, this guy just whacks, throws a bunch of popsicle goo at you, slows you, then he knocks you back, and just does a crap pile of damage while doing it. Now, what isn't great about that? He just basically mows people down and completely wrecks shop. Alright, now our next control character is another one of my favorites, Tia. Tia is very good. Now, control characters, they basically help you contain the fight. They have charms, they have slows, they have freezes, some of them have heals, and they usually do mass damage to the whole team. They're very good at whole team damage. I highly recommend having a control character in your team. It just basically, it keeps your enemy, the control character, its main job is to make it so the enemies have, or are always taking damage, or either frozen from Wally here, or Frozone. Now, we're going to check out Maleficent. Dragonfire. Maleficent transforms into a dragon and breathes fire, dealing 8,000 damage. Now, once you level that up, it's going to be significantly higher. Forest of Thorns. Maleficent summons a thorn that bursts and entangles enemies for 6 seconds, basically roots them in place for 6 seconds, while dealing 4,000 damage. Fog of Doom. Maleficent replaces a sleeping spell on all enemies for 5 seconds. So basically what that is putting everybody to sleep. Mistress of all evil. Maleficent curses enemies for 6 seconds. This is like probably one of the strongest new control characters that are out. Not only does she do a bunch of damage with the fire, she roots you, she puts you to sleep, she charms you, and she entangles you and slows you, and then melts you down when she turns into a dragon. Now what's not to like about that? And next up, Tia. Tia conjures a storm that deals 5,000 damage and silences you for 4 seconds. Tia charms an enemy for 7 seconds, and as you remember, charm makes it so it attacks an enemy for a great period of time. Makes you attack the enemy team. Tidal Rush. Tia launches a wave that knocks enemies back and deals 1,000 damage and travels up to a max of 5,000 damage. So basically it deals 1,000 damage to 5 of the enemies, which is a whole team. Mystic Curse, Bitter Storm, and Tidal Rush now curse enemies for 6 seconds. So basically you're always going to have that curse up, which makes it so your health drains dramatically fast. Alright, now that you've seen it, we are going to check out another battle here. Maybe not that one. Let's go with this. Alright. We're gonna go with Goofy. We're gonna show you Maleficent for this time. And Merida. Throw some Buzz in there. You can basically play around, find what teams you like. You can more or less do any kind of team that you want, but it is recommended to read the skills and make sure that the team goes well together, or you could just play it by ear and try it out. There's honestly, the possibilities in this game are endless. You get to play with all your favorite Disney characters, you get to level them up, make them super strong, and watch them go to town on your enemies. Honestly, don't know what there is not to like about this game. We're gonna fast forward this here. Do you see that? He lifted them up into the air and hacked it up. Watch Buzz fly and cut everybody's health in half. Merida just launched her arrows and just basically half-healthed their whole team. And that wasn't quite a success. Probably because I had lower level characters. Like I said, very important to level the characters that you really want to work with up. Now, you can play this game 3 times a day, 4 times a day. It's quite entertaining. I just love this game to bits. So, that's going to wrap up my characters. Now, tune into next video where I'm going to be going over how to properly build a team based on their abilities. I gave you some examples, but we're going to get into detail as to why they work well together. So if you enjoyed this content, be sure to like, subscribe, and share. I had a lot of fun this evening, and hope we can continue to rip it up Buffalo style.
What they call me. Promise that you never